Hi, and welcome to the Boat Princess podcast. My name is Nicky Vaux, and I'm your host. I am a boat owner, a marina owner, a director on the Marina Industries Association, and a huge advocate for boating. In this series, I'm sharing the stories from every nook of the boating industry with the intention of encouraging more women to join me and for more women to get behind the helm too. I want to share the experience and opportunities of boating, of the boating industry, and I want you to join me as I bring the conversations and answer all the questions you've had. Boating is not just for the glamorous and rich and famous. It's full of beautiful and interesting people making the most of our natural environment and getting out there, enjoying the waterways. So let's let off the lines, take over the helm, and escape to the world of boating. So welcome everyone to another episode of the Boat Princess podcast. I have got two fantastic young women in front of me here at Princess Yachts in Plymouth. I have Hayley Spencer, whose title is Manufacturing Engineer. I love that there's the word engineer in her title. And then Tia Lawton, who is a junior HR business partner. Again, business partner, what a great title in there. We love that. So welcome, girls.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Great to be here.
So we're going to ask you a little bit about, because there are many women out there that don't really, I guess, know that the boating industry even exists for them as an opportunity. You are two young women sitting in front of me who have come into our industry, and we want to share that with them. So let's start with you, Hayley. How did you get into this role?
I suppose it started when I left school. I had absolutely no idea what to do. I suppose a lot of young people are the same. And I got to a point where my dad just sat me down one day and went, "What are you doing with your life? Come on, you need to do something. You need to get a trade, do something that's going to last." And obviously down here in Plymouth, we're very lucky, the amount of engineering environments we have. So I did a little trial run in an engineering, it was a train depot at the time. And I started looking for apprenticeships. And that's how I sort of stumbled upon Princess, because obviously as, like you say, as young girls, don't know of engineering, don't know of Princess Yachts or these other businesses. So I applied for apprenticeship and I was lucky enough to get in and been here 9 years now.
Wow. Okay. And what about you, Tia?
I was in the same situation, to be honest, at the end of sixth form, thinking about university, but was I going there for the sake of it because I didn't know what I wanted to do? So started looking out there, and yeah, I saw the apprenticeship vacancy and kind of went for it. And I've been here ever since, and it's coming up to 4 years now.
Out of interest for Princess, where did you see those opportunities? Online or?
I actually heard through word of mouth, but we do advertise online through all different websites and on our recruitment page on our own website. So yeah, we're constantly doing open days and that sort of thing to try and get new apprentices in.
Ah, lovely. That's really great. Well, yeah, open days is a great idea, isn't it? Because it's such a big facility here. There is so much to explore, isn't there? Yeah, that's so cool. So Tia, tell me about your apprenticeship. Tell me about what was involved in doing that.
Yeah, so I got put with a HR business partner who mentored me, which was great because I could see it all then firsthand, see what goes on a daily basis and really get stuck in, which was brilliant. So I went to college one day a week and then I was in here for the rest of the week, and it was great. So studied all about HR and everything there is to it, and then I could see it firsthand as well, which was brilliant. We had some exams at the end and that sort of thing, and then once I finished that, I went on to further education to do my level 5 in HR management, and really got stuck in then. So since I've completed that, it's really getting stuck in with the meetings and being more involved rather than almost watching. I can actually step in and get involved, which is really great.
Yeah, and what do you love about it?
I love being able to speak to people, being able to help them.
I suppose being that point of contact.
Yeah, it's that point.
A lot of people come to you for help and advice, and you're that person, the first person they'll see in the prison.
Yeah, and being able to reassure people and help people out when they need it, it is great. And it's also the the management side as well, when you're in those meetings and all getting together and speaking about things, it's good to communicate as well.
Yeah, that's great. And what about you, Hayley? How did you start here, and what did your apprenticeship involve? Can you give me some detail of what the apprenticeship actually involves here?
Yeah, so when I joined, my apprenticeship was a 4-year apprenticeship, engineering apprenticeship. Big part of the reason I chose Princess over other areas is Princess, they don't specify their apprenticeship. You're not a mechanical engineer or an electrical, you're everything, you're all in one. So you'll see, in my eyes, as a young woman then, it was like, oh, you're more qualified, you're more usable, you know? So I joined. You start off with your first year, do full college. You come down in half terms, get to see what the boats are like, see what people like, see the sort of jobs that you're going to get to do. And as those years go on, you do less college and more work base, and obviously during that time you're also earning. So for a young person that, like myself, had no idea what to do, do I go to uni? I haven't got the money for uni. Have I got the brains for uni? You know, it was like you can just come to work and you're earning and learning at the same time and building relationships. One of the guys that I worked with as an apprentice, I'm still friends with and I still work with today, 9 years later. Major part of my life. So you build those really good relationships.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
You build some really good friendships and relationships with the people around you.
Yeah, because you're with these people more sometimes than you're with your own family. So, you know, having these relationships, having these friendships mean a lot. And it does not mean just because you're a girl, you're going to get shoved to the side. You're going to make these friendships and these guys are going to treat you like one of their own. And then, so I basically moved around Princess. I think I've worked at nearly every site they have down here. Worked on multiple different boats and different yacht models, all the different areas from engine rooms, helms, fly bridges. I've done lots of different open days. So as you were saying, we've done open days where we try and entice people and show people what Princess is about, what we do and what we have on offer. So I've done many of those. And now I'm at that point now where I finished my apprenticeship and now it's kind of full circle moment and passing on what I did to the apprentices that are coming in now. So it's kind of a nice full circle of life moment for me right now.
And that must be really nice for you to be an actual mentor for especially young girls coming into this industry. How does that feel for you?
It's lovely. It really is, because when I first joined, Princess hadn't had women in the workplace for a little while. They on the shop floor, of course, there was obviously women around, but there weren't many on shop floor doing what you'd call the manual job. Yeah. So when I first joined, I literally didn't see another woman at all. So it was quite new. You get a lot of head turns. But now we've got so many more apprentices coming through, not just apprentices, but employees of all different trades. But to have female apprentices coming in and seeing them and how different it is for them, it's nice because you can see we're going in the right direction. This whole industry is going in the right direction because you can see how much better their experiences are compared to some of the experiences I had to deal with. And also being that point of contact. So I'm a mentor. I've also for a female rep as well. So being that person that girls can come to and go I'm not too sure about this. Yeah. How did you deal with this? And it's nice to pass on that knowledge and go you'll be fine. I managed it. You're gonna be okay. Come on, let's have a chat. Let's take 5. You'll be just fine. And it's nice, I think, because you get rewarded by their feedback. Yes. So when you hear feedback, it's you do feel good about yourself.
Yeah. I think every year we're increasing the number of female apprentices we've taken on. I think last year was our record-breaking year of how many we've ever taken on in the apprenticeship scheme so far. So it is increasingly getting bigger every year. So I think schools are more aware now that that's something they really need to advertise to get women into the industry.
I think those open days are really, open days, events are really opening that to people, and they are going, oh wait, there is this place called Princess Yachts that we can go to. I literally interviewed a young girl today to be a carpenter, and I've been here 9 years and I've never known a carpenter apprentice to be a female. So that was for me a wow moment. I remember when she finished her interview and left the call, I was chatting to the my other interviewer, and I was I've never seen this. 9 years. We've now got a potential female carpenter apprentice, that's awesome. And that's a big moment. I was wow, this is amazing. We've never had this before.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's great to see that whole shift.
But at those open days, they see you. We only feel comfortable in advertising or a space or when we see somebody that we relate to. So when women come to an open date and you guys are there saying, yeah, it's great working here, that makes them feel so much more comfortable and want to be there as well. So that's interesting what you said about, because we as women, we do face challenges in the workplace, and they're not necessarily even really bad. There can just be some language that's used inappropriately, and often the guys don't even mean to, they don't realise what they're saying.
It's banter.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it goes one way or the other, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, banter is a very sensitive subject, and it's something you need to be very careful with.
Yeah, and even things like, they can use a language that are talking about, oh, don't be a girl or something like that, and that they're not being vicious, they're not being, they're not meaning to be.
Yeah.
It's just that's been the language in the past, but now we need to change that to make sure that you guys all feel comfortable in that space, and they will invariably go, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't even think about that. But they say it because that's part of our language. So it's great that you guys are, I guess, educating the guys in our workplace on your way through, which makes it easier for the girls that are coming in 5 years later, as you say, to not have to deal with some of that, because you've been the forefront that have dealt with that and said, no, that's not okay. Or you've sat down and had a coffee with that person and said, look, you said this the other day and it's really not great, so can we work on that?
Yeah, I also think the support out there now is much higher. So before, companies like Princess, there'll be obviously thousands around that aren't used to having the women in the workplace in these certain jobs. There wasn't always the support network there either. And not saying that we all need that, like arm around us, like you're going to be okay, but it's having that person to go to and go, like, this isn't right. Can we do something about this? And then they go, oh yeah, it's not right. Like, why haven't we seen this before? And they wouldn't have seen that before without women there. It's having those things in place now that you can just raise your hand and go, well, shouldn't we be doing it this way? And then they go, oh yeah, we should actually be doing it this way.
Yeah, it's a very male-dominated industry, which we're hoping to change, aren't we? So, yeah, and it is changing.
And it is
slowly.
changing, yeah.
Yeah.
And some years you can see it's like, it's really changed.
Yeah.
Like some things you go like, wow, I wish I had that when I joined.
Just when you walk down the street now, just compared to when I started, and you see all the the female production leads, and it's not what it used to be, is it?
No, I mean, I had interviews with a girl a few months ago, and I said to her, she was saying like, oh, I'm a bit nervous about, if I was lucky to get the job, I'm a bit nervous about what it would be like when I walk through the shop. When I walk like down the yard, am I gonna get loads of head turns? And I'm like, I can honestly turn around and go like, now, no, because you're not a minority no more. There are so many women that work here now. You just blend. Everyone's used to the women in the workplace now.
Yeah.
Where when I started, like anywhere you go, it was the constant head turn.
Yeah, totally agree.
Like trying to hide from it.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
It's totally different now. It's just, we're just...
And like that's one thing I would say that a lot of 16-year-old girls, if you're coming out of school as an apprentice, that's one thing you're gonna think of. Am I gonna get stared at? And it isn't a nice feeling. But now you're not gonna get that no more. So that shows that progression.
And credit to the guys out there, they're doing that. They're not making you feel different. They're making you feel part of the team and bringing you into the team, which is, I think we've always got to thank the guys around us that do support us and do give us that you can do this, because they do often. And there's also guys that step in and defend us when there is a bit of banter that is inappropriate or anything like that. And again, those guys we need to thank for doing that, because as much as we'd love it not to be like that, it does still happen. But those guys that are doing that are making a real difference. That one moment of defending Tia from a bit of banter she received from somebody, that man can really make a difference to your life in doing that for you. So I think it's, I think we need to make sure that men are aware that whilst we're promoting women, getting women into the industry, it's not because of the guys are supporting us and wanting us to be there, which is just so awesome.
Yeah,
Totally
100%.
agree. Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for me, with, like I said, I was the only girl at one point. If it wasn't for the guys, like, I wouldn't be doing the job. You know, there are times where I was like, oh, I don't want to do this no more. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm struggling. But I had such a strong support of a group of guys that, like I said, now I'm absolutely amazing friends with. You know, I know their families, I know their dogs, their kids, you know, like... And, like, if it wasn't for those people, those guys, like, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be the person I am now. They've shaped me as much as maybe we've shaped the business and the way things are.
Yeah.
They shape you. Like, you get their mannerisms, you know what I mean? They're teaching you how to do the job. You're just trying to promote it for everybody else.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for them, I don't think there'd be as many women in here, because they're the ones that are teaching us at the end of the day.
Yeah. So credit to them.
Yeah.
And so, Tia, where do you see your career going? What do you fancy doing?
I've just been promoted to a junior HR business partner, which is brilliant. I'm very excited to get stuck in and get going with that. And then I'm on a career plan, really. So hopefully in about 18 months' time, I will then be a fully fledged HR business partner.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm on track for that at the minute, which I'm aiming for. So I really need to get stuck in and work as hard as I can for the next 18 months to make that happen.
And I get the real impression that there's a very clear career plan here at Princess. Would I be correct in saying that?
There's a lot of opportunities, so it's equal opportunities. We get, you've got your mentors, you've got your managers. If you need to speak to them about career progression, they'll put you on a path and help you out. We've got vacancy briefs that go out every week. Everybody's free to apply for whatever roles on that vacancy brief. So yeah, it's equal opportunities all round.
Love that. Yeah. And Hayley, what about you?
So I've just finished my first year. So I've 2 years ago I did a HNC, qualified that through.
What's an HNC?
It's a high national certificate, so it's kind of the bridging course from doing an apprenticeship, sort of level 3, going to level 4, level 5. I'm on a sort of pathway for getting my bachelor's degree. So I qualified that 2 years ago over COVID. What a stress that was. Anyone studying over COVID was like, oh,
that was me as well, yeah.
What am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Came out the other side, managed to get that.
Yeah.
And after obviously like talking to the business about my sort of plans, we agreed that I could continue, and I've joined the bachelor's degree. So I'm on a course at the moment. So I've on that for another 3 years. I've just got a promotion myself. So I've just got a new job. And I'm going to be probably doing that now, basically, throughout my degree, which is going to really help me, because my degree is in manufacturing engineering and my job is manufacturing engineer. So it's perfectly married now.
I think that's something that the company definitely helps with. When you're doing your apprenticeships and you're doing your courses, they put you in that role so you can see what's happening. So when you need to write about what happens on a daily basis, you can see it firsthand, and it's really helpful. Yeah. You definitely know what goes on more, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So it's lovely to see you both. So you're very clear on what you're going to be doing, and it's you've got those goals in front of you, and you know exactly how you're focused.
Yeah, and we're on totally different paths as well. We couldn't be any more opposite on what we're doing, but definitely got clear paths.
But like you say, they run along. So even though we're totally different paths, you know, the business has still got those paths for those people. So where you've done like your degree, you've done your level 5, I'm just doing the same thing, but just in a different area of the business. So it doesn't matter if you're office based or if you're on the shop floor, those options and like you say, those equal opportunities are still there for people.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. So Hayley, give me a day in the life of you working here at Princess. What do you actually physically do on a day?
Okay, so as an engineer, there's countless different jobs that you can be doing each day. As a sort of snapshot, I'm in a fit out mentoring role currently while I'm on my transition to my ME's job. But basically my area sort of field of work has been the engine rooms. That's where I enjoyed most of my apprenticeship. So apprenticeship time, 4 years, rotating, trying out different areas, and absolutely just I fell in love with engine rooms because it had everything. You could do electrical, I could do the mechanical, I could do hydraulics, I could be making something look pretty, I could be doing something where I'm getting covered in oil. I just loved the the diversity of everything. So sort of my daily life would be team meetings with our little crew, find out what jobs we were going to do for the day, what kit we had available, and we would literally build the engine room from start to finish. So from an empty hull to everything that the customer will see as it goes out. And alongside that now, as I sort of said, full circle, I've got an apprentice. So I sort of mentor them as well and manage where they go in the business. And we're trialling something a bit different at Southyard to everywhere else, where we're doing a bit of a rotation plan so that they maximise their apprenticeship. So at the end of the 4th year, you could look at that apprentice and go, I want that apprentice on my team. Like, they're a good apprentice, you know what I mean? They've done the work, they've proved themselves. And hopefully they feel better about themselves because they can go, yeah, I can do any job. Like, I don't know what that means, but like, I'll give it a go, you know? So it's a bit of a mixture at the moment of hands-on engineering and also then mentoring and passing on some knowledge.
I love that. So that must be very satisfying, taking an engine room from an empty space to what we see at Boat Show or what we buy. Yeah, it is. I think it was the one thing for me as an apprentice when I was younger that I was like, wow, like you've literally gone from this empty room, just this V-shaped room that's got like nothing in it, you know, and then all of a sudden you can hardly move now because you've put everything in. You've got your engines, your generators, your fuel tanks, everything's like taking up all this space. And when you walk in, it's just like a wow moment. You know, you're seeing these 2 engines, you're seeing all your cabling and everything all neatly done and these hydraulics. And it's just, it was something for me that I was like, wow, I just love that space. Yeah. I think most apprentices always find their little niche. And for me, that was a wow moment. I think going from, like, say, emptiness to what the owner gets to see was, and in the engine room, you do get to see that start to finish. Yeah. Other areas of the boat sometimes not so much. So for me that was it's a wow moment. I still, even now, if you go on a different boat after you've been building it for a little while and you see it finish and you got to the where you're like, wow, that looks good.
Gives you a sense of pride, doesn't it? Really, it gives you something to be proud
when it's
of
all
where you're working.
Cleaned and it's gleaming. You're like, wow, look at that.
Yeah, they are lovely and shiny when they're done.
We don't normally get to see that side of it. We get all the dirty and we're like getting all in and like, you know, building it, and then on the water when you very rarely get a chance and you're like, that is what they're actually like. I'm a bit of a when I go to Boat Show, you know, there's lots of other people there just looking at the glam bits, you know, the sofas and the flybridge and blah blah blah, and I'm going, where's the engine? I want to look in the cupboards, you know, like I want to open stuff, like, because I'm used to the engine room. I'm like up the front with a pointy end. I'm like, I want to see what the cupboards look like. What does that do? I don't get to see this normally.
So Tia, how about you? A day in the life of Tia at Princess?
So this is what I really love about HR. It's just not every day is the same. So every day is different. The variety of things that go on. You don't really know what to expect on a daily basis. You could go into the office and sit down with a list of your things that you need to get through for the day.
Get none of it done.
And none of it done because the door's being knocked on all day. And then that means that disciplinary meetings could come in, investigation meetings could come in, and your list just grows. But it's great because it's that variety of jobs that you've got going on then, and you can have some meetings, some like wellbeing meetings, check on employees, make sure they're okay, if they're off absent, or if, just to get together to give them some support. So every day is totally different. I couldn't even tell you if I tried. So it just depends. It depends on the day, but it's just that thing. It's welfare. You're checking in on employees, making sure they're okay if they're off. You're chasing managers on stuff that you need, which as me being a young female, and they've all been here for a long time, and mostly male managers, I think that used to be something quite intimidating to me, but I'm totally confident with it now. And definitely since also I've passed my course, is going in and actually going into those meetings, those disciplinary meetings, those investigation meetings, and being the only female in the room sometimes, with people that have worked here for a very long time, was very daunting to me at first. Now I don't think twice about it. Totally confident going in.
Own the room.
Yeah, totally confident going in. Don't think twice about it. Not daunting to me at all anymore. So yeah, it's really great.
And I think there's a lesson to be learnt in that you know, for a lot of us, a lot of things are very daunting. When you first drive a boat, it's daunting. But the more you do it, the more you just get thrown, and sometimes we get thrown into a situation and we think, whoa, what are we doing here? But the more you do it, if you just keep going and keep doing what you're doing, the confidence builds up, doesn't it? Because it's practice. It's literally practice makes perfect.
Definitely, yeah.
And you just need that yep, I'm okay. And you do it, you might make a couple of mistakes the first
Yeah.
time, but you learn from that
You
one.
do, yeah.
And then you go on and you do it again, and you think, oh, I could have done that
Yeah.
better, but you learn again. And
Yeah.
that's the only, and I think we need to make that really clear to women out there.
Yeah,
Just give it a crack, have a go.
definitely.
You
Totally
know?
agree, yeah.
Yeah. So, what's the thing you want to say to the girls out there that are potentially looking at coming into the boating industry? What do you want to tell them about us?
I think you got to go out and have a look. I think one thing, obviously, I can only speak for Princess because obviously we don't get out, we don't see other companies, but for Princess, like, come and have a look. Come to the open days. If wherever you are, if they're doing a school meet, if they're doing an open day, if they're doing a greet, a chat, go, because you've got nothing to lose. If it's there and you're like, this is not for me, you've been there, you've tried, and you can say you've ticked that box, like, I tried that. But coming and having a chat is something that I didn't have. Like, they didn't do that for me when I was a girl, when I was at school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now that I'm a bit older, like, as like a woman, I can go, like, I wish I had that when I was that little girl at school and I had no idea what to do.
Totally agree.
If someone came to me and went, hey, have you thought about engineering? I'd be like, no, but what is it? Like, what is it? And for me, like, now I see all these kids coming through and they've got schools that do engineering as a course in school. Like, where was that? Like, why didn't I have that? Yeah. So for me, it's just go and try it.
Yeah.
Have a chat with someone. Like, and if it's not for you, it's not for you, but at least you can see it. You can physically go and see it. You can physically go and chat to someone and they'll really open your eyes out to, like, what is, like, potentially out there for you now.
Yeah, and there's so many different opportunities as well. So ranging from shop floor to HR to sales to health and safety to finance apprenticeships. There's so many different opportunities now, so many different apprenticeship schemes. So there's so much for people to go for and to, have a look at, see if they do fancy it.
Yeah, love that. Now, you had an event a while back here at Princess in January when you couldn't do Dusseldorf. You had that event where you displayed your boats down. Did you guys go to that?
Yeah.
And how did that feel for you?
I thought it was amazing.
It did.
So I had to do, like, a little press thing. I don't know if you, like, seen it. I was like so nervous.
She was on the TV.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh no. And then I was really nervous about going down. But when I seen the boats, I thought, wow, like, why aren't we doing this every year?
Yeah,
to me, it was just
amazing.
Like, we're in Plymouth, the home of Princess, the home of where all these beautiful boats are made. And then I'm like, this is where they need to be. We should do something like this every year. Because it brought such a crowd. I mean, I was just there for like a couple hours. The amount of people coming and going just to try and get a glimpse, I thought was absolutely beautiful.
I kept seeing it all over people's Instagram stories and everything all weekend. Just people videoing it and taking photos because the lights and it looked amazing.
And you would think you're down like Ibiza or like down in Palma, on the marinas. It was like one of them moments because it was nice weather as well. Yeah,
that's
brilliant.
So good. And I think that's a perfect example of something that COVID created. COVID has been terrible in so many ways for so many people, but it has made us do different things differently. It's made us think about doing things differently. And that is a perfect example of something that happened out of COVID and is actually better for Plymouth, better for Princess, because you all enjoyed that so much. The community suddenly feels that Princess is more of the community because they're seeing it there and getting excited and proud of having that industry here in Plymouth. Is there some things that have changed your life or your working things that are for the better because of the situations you were put into because of COVID?
I don't think so for me, to be honest. I feel for me, like, my life changed in a slightly different way. My partner also works here at Princess, so we were really fortunate that Princess allow, obviously through the likes of you with your HR and things like now is flexible working. So me and my partner, like, we sort of struggled with it because of COVID and childcare and all those sort of arrangements caused us issues. So, with the business, it was nice that we could do these flexible working to try and cover for all of those sort of arrangements.
So that must have been an amazing event for you all, and I know you really enjoyed it. But let's delve a little bit more into life as a woman working. I know, Hayley, you have children to care for as part of your world. How do you juggle that with the whole working, because you're full-time, right?
Yeah.
So how do you juggle that?
It can be challenging at times, I'll be honest. So my partner's got 2 kids, which are fantastic. You know, they love the idea as well of us working on these boats. They're like, oh my God, you're on these mats. They always want to come down and see them, you know, kind of hoping that we'll get another family day that we did years ago so they can come down and have a look. But yeah, it can be challenging. I think going back to sort of COVID with that was probably the biggest challenge of working full time. I was doing my HNC degree at the same time and then also homeschooling 2 children where I was like, what is going on with my life? How has this changed so much? Luckily, obviously, we have such a support with myself, my partner, the children's mum, you know, like everyone's getting involved. But yeah, it was at times it can be a bit of a struggle. It's something new. But yeah, I think you just get on with it, don't we? I think women just do, don't they? Just like, yeah, that's a challenge. I'll take it. Let's just push forward.
Yeah. Good on you. That's so good. And Tia, you were studying during COVID.
Yeah,
How was
so
that?
I was actually ready to finish my apprenticeship and then COVID happened. So I had to try and stay on top of what I had learned because I knew as soon as we went back to work, that's when my endpoint assessment would be booked. And I was ready to do it and all my work was completed at the beginning.
Oh, no.
And it got pushed back, I think about 7 months. So to keep going for 7 months without no teaching, to keep that refreshed in your mind. So you're at home, but you're worrying that you're going to be forgetting things that you're not learning every week anymore. So it was constantly trying to refresh yourself so that you're still ready for when you did go back to work. So it was really worrying times. Yeah.
Yeah. Tough.
Really tough. Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I found it very hard to be disciplined to actually get the normal level of work I would get done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Was really quite hard to do during that time.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And I ended up doing work at 10 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock in the morning rather than in the middle of the day sort of thing. And all that sort of thing went on, didn't it?
We were the same. We were like homeschooling the 2 kids during the day, and obviously then there's like the whole devices thing, wasn't it? Like we've got enough devices to do all of this. Trying to remember how to do like Key Stage 2 maths. Like I'm doing an engineering degree and yet I'm trying to do like the division method and I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
So like trying to learn all that again, and then like you say, like I'd be up like late messaging my tutors at like 9-10 o'clock at night trying to get 1-to-1 because I can't like do it during the day.
Yeah.
Definitely brought in new challenges on that side.
Yeah. So I've really enjoyed talking to you guys. I'm so impressed with you both for getting into this industry and for being part of it. It's awesome to have you in it. And I really appreciate your time because I know you guys are busy and you've got lots on, plenty of work to do. So it's been lovely chatting with you. I hope that we will see you in Australia one day.
I hope so. I've got my fingers crossed.
Yeah. If you do, give me a buzz. We'll go out boating together. It has been an absolute pleasure to meet you both. I hope you've enjoyed being on our podcast.
It's been lovely.
Yeah,
thank you so much. It's been such an experience. It's lovely.
Good. Yeah, because I really want as many women in our industry to talk to as many women out there as possible to show that you are here and you are progressing the world of women in our industry, as it were, and getting some really great careers under your belts for other women to see, so which is awesome. Thanks, girls.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
So that was another episode of the Boat Princess podcast here at Princess Yachts in Plymouth. It's been great to have you listening to us. We hope you have an amazing weekend ahead, and we shall see you on the water soon. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Boat Princess podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you'd like to know more about what I do and where I am, then you can follow me on Instagram at The Boat Princess. You can also sign up to my newsletter on my website, which is theboatprincess.com. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and hopefully we'll see you on the water soon.